Go a little bit closer here. I think I can, and that way I can see when people join. Might adjust my screen ever so slightly. There we go. Okay, I am back. Let's see if YouTube has sent this out yet. It takes a little while sometimes for YouTube to get going with inviting an audience. Excuse me. And I think that it'll be, hi everybody, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. We're going to start drawing in a minute here. Thanks for stopping by. We're doing a live drawing today. We're using the infinite zoom tool, and as soon as I get around this eye, I'm going to give you a quick tour of what the infinite zoom drawing tool is. Okay, so the tools with infinite zoom are extremely simple. It's very easy for people to learn how to use. I'm doing sort of the history of fashion. I have a few different infinite zooms I did, and what's special about this program, as you can see, is that I can just continue to zoom out. Everything is vector based. That may or may not mean something to you, but what it means is you can get as close can be, and you're never going to see pixelation, because it is it's what they call a vector-based system. But it also, that quality allows you to zoom out and out, or in and in, however you please. And so that is going to bring us out to the beginning of this drawing. They also allow you to set up some bookmarks so you can quickly get to where you last were. You can go to last painted, or I have these bookmarks set. I have the Tang Dynasty here. I have an Egyptian drawing here. Bronze, Minoan. Mayan dignitary, not colored in yet. I don't have everything marked. I've got to start with the Neolithic. The one that I'm working on is it's a combination of a Nordic and Celtic historical reference. The storyline with the swine and the cat belonging to this goddess Freya is Nordic. The style of drawing really fits in a lot. You see here the Celtic knot, but those things also carried over to Norway. If you look at the Stav churches, they have super detailed knotwork that's been carved in wood, and the same with the ships. So I kind of combined those two into this one. I'm going to go back here and finish working on these eyes. There's also layer systems here I can show you really quick. So this black layer is here. Below it is the green layer. So that allows me to do a lot of dots, and they don't show up on top. Like if I do that on top of it, the black is not going to show. I notice I have a little bit of spillage here though. So I want to match the other eye. So I'm going to start again. Clean the spillage again. Choose this color, and I'm just going to put my dots towards the center. Thanks for joining me. I am really trying to grow my channel. I want to be able to put links to sell my books in the comments. I need to have 1,000 subscribers to do that. And I'm getting close. I think I'm up to 900 and some, or 890, somewhere. I'm really close. Any subscriptions coming my way, I would really appreciate it. So here, to make this look a little more interesting, I think we're going to add a couple other colors here. Let's add a little bit more of a yellow. Just to make it a little more interesting. And we'll go over to this one and do the same. I notice I've got a little bit of a black blank spot, so let me choose black. Fill that in. Go back to the layer that I'm working on. And let's go with a darker. Oh, interesting. I'll erase that. Do you hear that horse? I have a horse. I don't know if you could hear that whinny in the background. He's calling to his friends in the next field. I'm going to go out and sit with him later. He lost his pasture mate a couple weeks ago. It's really, really sad. And he's a little bit lonely, so he can still see other horses and touch noses with them. He just doesn't have anybody in his pasture with him. And mostly he does okay, but occasionally he calls out because he's a little bit lonely. So I spend some extra time with him. And I hope this won't be a permanent situation for him. I won't go into the details. Like, they're holding this space right now for reasons that I won't go into. So he's able to cope at the moment. If he gets depressed, I'll have to either talk to the folks about getting another horse in there with him, or find other accommodations for him. I don't want to find other accommodations. I love this place. It's so perfect. Let's see, I want to clean this up right here. Oops. With the eraser. Kind of see what's happening. So here I could put some color on here for the necklace. I have not been reading the comments. Let me take a moment. Hi, Shadow Bacon. Hello, Lelotina. Hello, Toes. So glad you all came on here. Hope you're still around. If you're not, I'll send it out over the ether. Hello to all of you, and thank you for being here. All right, so let's look at her overall. Oh, I haven't really... So she's got green behind her. I probably could do blue in the sky, but I remember when I was young that I used to wear a lot of Norwegian costumes when I was a kid, because I grew up in an American town, but it was Norwegian, full of Norwegian people, and they celebrated 17. Mai, and so it didn't matter if you were Norwegian or not, you got to dress up in the traditional costume. And I remember it being red and blue a lot, a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow. So, oh, you could have green. We've got the green dragon behind her, so I probably will limit the green in her dress. But I think I'm going to go with gold, blue, and red. So I'll just go ahead and start with that idea. And green. Let's put a nice emerald in the middle. Light blue. Yeah, I'll incorporate some light blue in there. I remember seeing a lot of different colors, actually, with those traditional Norwegian costumes. One thing with this program is I cannot turn it sideways on the screen. I can't like just move the paper around. I can go in and out, but I can't go sideways. I can't twist it. So sometimes I get in a funny situation because I also have to keep this screen here aligned with my camera view. And so it can be challenging sometimes. I kind of want to go and clean this up a little bit on the black layer. So let's go up there and do a little bit of cleanup. First, I'm going to fill in, oops, wrong color. I'm going to fill in some blank spots. Smooth out some lines. This is such a rudimentary tool. It's like drawing the whole thing with a magic marker. You don't have to know how to use any fancy brushes. They don't offer any. So it's limiting, but I remember hearing this, and it was attributed to Picasso, but it's not really Picasso's quote. It's been said many times, many ways over the years. But the quote goes like this. You will find, oh, I have a dog here. Let me see if I can show you this dog. See this dog nose right there? This is a puppy. I'm farm sitting right now. And this puppy has been very, very, very taken care of this morning. I'm gonna ignore the ball play because it is my time to draw. She will keep me going and going and going with that ball, throwing that ball for her. But right now we're doing a little bit of me time. So she went away. She gave up. I threw the ball for her in the yard today until she wore out and couldn't do it anymore. I threw the ball for her last night until she wore out and couldn't do it anymore. So she's hoping I'll do that right now, but now is not the time. Nope, she's back. Okay. I've got a little bit more I could do. Her name's Fern. Hi, Fern. I'm going to chew that ball in my lap. Okay. You like the puppy, I see. Thanks, Theas. Yes, I drew this from the beginning, Gabriel, if you're still here. Gabriel. Just reading the comments. And if you just joined me, it's an infinite zoom, so it just goes and goes. Oh, that's funny. Fern thinks my hair, which is very long and hangs down, is, Fern the dog thinks it's a chew toy. She just started chewing on my hair. She did the same thing yesterday. So I have to keep control of the situation here in the background while I'm showing you a few things. Okay, I'm gonna go back to where I last painted and go back to work on this. So for anybody who's joined me, you can find a lot of lessons on here. I give a lesson in how to use infinite zoom. I think I've done it a couple times, done instruction videos. Just go subscribe to my channel and then go on there. And we've got a little bit of an argument going on in the background here between Poppy and Fern, the puppy. Anyway, go in my channel. If you're a beginning drawer or if you are a seasoned artist, it doesn't matter. You will find something there that will help expand you. I do expand your skills, expand your thinking. I do a little bit about the nature of creativity. I do a little bit about my journey with making children's books. I don't do a whole lot on that, but a little bit. Mostly, I just draw using an iPad with an Apple Pencil. The program I use a lot is Fresco and Infinite Zoom. There are similar programs. I think Infinite Zoom will work on Android-based products too, or PCs with tablets. Fresco, I don't think will. I think you have to use, I think there's maybe a window-based product you can use with it, but fresco. You might be better off using Procreate, which I'm think I'm going to download Procreate pretty soon and learn how to use that so that I can help people with that too. Okay, let's go get that light blue that someone suggested. And let's add a background of a nice light, kind of go a little bit towards the gray is what I'm remembering I've seen. Go to a thicker pen. Oops, I'm on the wrong layer. I need to be behind the black. There we go. So if you got here, I am a small channel. I just started out this last year. I've gained a lot of subscribers, but I'm nowhere near where I need to be for it to sustain me on here. So if this is enjoyable for you, or you think that you might want to look later and find some lessons for drawing yourself, please subscribe. I will be forever grateful. See, I have a little bit of cleanup to do with the skin tone. Kind of want to do that right now. So I'm going to use the eyedropper to grab that color and then fill in a couple of blank spots I see. Go back, grab the eyedropper and get the blue again. Thanks for stopping by. This is an infinite zoom program. I'll give you a quick tour of that and I'll come right back to drawing. I am happy to share everything I know online with drawing skills in the hopes that you can pick up a few tips or tricks. So the level of drawing that I do, it's not photorealistic at all, but you know, I've gotten pretty good at understanding how bodies go together. I look pretty closely at photographs so that I can create a caricature of animals. I also study patterns, historical patterns. And this is the Infinite Zoom program that allows you to just keep going and going. So I'm doing a little history of fashion here. And it's going to take me right out to the beginning here. And I'm going to move in all the way to what I'm going to work on later today. So you also have to remember where you went in. So it can be a little tricky sometimes. Here I went in the bird's eye. I'm just waiting for the day when I cannot remember how I zoomed in. So here we went in on the dragonfly to the Minoan, and we go to the belt buckle, or there's another name for that. It's not a belt, it's like a sash. And then we're at the Tang Dynasty, and we go into the horse's eye. This I have not developed yet. This is as far as I've gone. This is going to be a sari from the Gandhari region first century, Common Era. Out we go to where we're drawing today. Okay, so that's a little quick tour of the infinite zoom. Thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. And let's see what other comments we have here. No, I don't. I can't. I don't think that you can donate to me yet. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get more subscribers in order to support the channel. And I see on some other folks that that people can donate to them, but I have to have. Let me think about this. I have to have 3,000 watch hours, and I'm really close. I'm at 2,925 watch hours. So I've only got 75 watch hours to go. And then I think I'll be able to get that donate button, which will be exciting for me because right now I do all these drawings. You'll see I have like over 200 videos that I have put on this channel that I make nothing for. I make nothing from them. I get nothing from it. You have to meet these certain criteria, certain amount of followers, certain amount of watch hours before YouTube will consider your channel serious enough to pay you. So anyway, here we are working on that idea. So I think I'm going to go to, let's go to a red. I don't want it to be too pink. I'm going to go down here to a little bit deeper red. And we'll add some colors to the flower. Let's go with a smaller brush here. Maybe tomorrow I'll figure out a way to set high. Won't be able to because I'll be out of Wi-Fi range. I was going to say I'm going to draw in my field tomorrow, in the field tomorrow with my horse, so I can show people my horse. But so what's going on today is I'm house sitting at my friend's house where my horse lives. He lives here. I don't. I just farm sit for her when she goes out of town. She has a lovely, beautiful farm, little mini farm. And she's got dogs, cats, and horses that need caring for and feeding and love every day. And I know them all really well, so I am the lucky one who gets to take care of them when she goes out of town. I live about, let's see, how many miles from here? Like 10 miles from here? Not too far. Let's see. What to do for the background color of this necklace. I think it should match. I think I'm going to go with a little bit darker blue. So first of all, let's grab that blue and then go to the mixer and take it down a notch. There. So how does that look? That's good. Yeah, we miss my horse's pasture mate who passed away. His name was Winston. He was such a character. He was a beautiful warm blood. He'd done quite well with his owner, who was his mom the whole time from when he was born. And they had done some amazing dressage together, which is a really old traditional type of writing. She's my writing coach, which I don't ride anymore. Magnum's got a lot of anxiety under saddle. Magnum is my horse. He gets extremely anxious as soon as people are on his back. I mean, he can calm down into it, but in general, his default is to be anxious. Now, I can be on the ground with him forever. He will do liberty tricks with me. He's so clever and so friendly and so relaxed. But as soon as we switch to riding, so I had his back checked, and he does have a little bit of a back problem. So it could be that he would tense up when I'd get on his back, and so I don't ride him anymore. I don't want that to happen. I don't want him to have any pain or anxiety. So we just take care of him now. And he has a pretty happy life, pretty cushy life. Thanks for listening to my little stories about my animals. We got some cleanup to do there. You can see this is the there's no bucket fill in this program. There's no fancy brushes. It's just like using a crayon or a magic marker. Kind of crazy. Okay, so I think we'll just go with the green here and make these. Oh, can you hear the barking in the background? Hopefully it's not too loud. So what I do to make jewels look a little bit more interesting is to vary the shade or the tone, the tint. So it almost looks like there's light reflecting on it. Someone's probably walking by on the road. Okay. I wonder if I can mute while the dogs are doing all the barking, I might mute. Thank you for stopping by. Gabrielle, I'll be back. Awesome. Thank you. Let's do a quick tour here of the infinite zoom before I mute myself. Or actually, I'm going to mute while the dogs are barking. Okay, my voice is back. I think that things have settled down with the animals. I really want to get in here and make some decisions on the colors of these clothes. So I think I'll stick with these colors that I've created here in her necklace, and I'll just carry that down. So let's do the red color here. I'm also going to go in and add some highlight with the lighter color in the lighter red that I used. So let's grab that. I'm using the eyedropper to get there. And then I think I'm going to go to this lighter blue for the bodice. I'm just going to lay down the base color because I'll just come back and create some variation and shading on top of it, but we'll get the base color down. So I want to see the overall. I think I'm going to go with the very darkest blue for part of her skirt. This is going to be pretty picky to fill in later because I'm going to have all of these are going to have a color. I think I'm going to do a gold trim, but I'll get the base underneath. Color it all in because I have no reason to be picky about it twice. I'll just be picky about it when I do the gold color over the top. Oh, that was a little bit of a mistake. I don't know what color those are going to be. So much activity in the background here with the animals. They've gotten all excited about somebody who walked by and they're all riled up. Thanks for stopping by. I'm working on an infinite zoom drawing if you just joined. Just coloring it in. Check the comments when I can. Remember, I should say, when I can always check the comments. I just get into my drawing and I forget. Okay, so the base here of her skirt comes down here. And then this is another part of her skirt, but I'll match it to a different color up here. So I think it's important for me to figure out how these colors are working here. Then I'm going to grab that dark red. I think the Norwegian flag is red, white, and blue, actually. Maybe that's why I saw so many red, white, and blue costume colors when I was a kid. The town I grew up in is Stoughton, Wisconsin. Stoughton's an English name, but there was a bunch of Norwegian immigrants there, and some of them were they were first generation, and immigrants themselves, where they spoke, they were bilingual, they spoke Norwegian and they spoke English, and they had very thick accents. These are the folks that were in the town that I grew up in. I was raised on a farm, and we had, one of the crops we raised was tobacco, which was a very hand done, labor intensive crop. So we had to hire workers, and some of the older Norwegian immigrant farmers loved to come out for a day or two and work. It's kind of like they were retired and at that point in their lives, and liked working short harvests. So I remember them coming to our farm and helping us. And then my mom would put on a huge feed and for everybody to have lunch. And she'd set up washing stations in the backyard because people would come in from the field extremely dirty because the work is, handling the plants and you're in the dirt. And then we'd all sit down and have a really big meal. Okay, so I think I'm going to go in and do the gold next because, whoops, let me get up here to the gold color. I think I might grab the gold from her hair rather than that gold. I think I'm going to go to this nice deep gold there. And make the trim that color. You see I went outside the black line right there. It's not the end of the world, but so you might wonder, how long does it take to do an infinite zoom drawing? I have a couple that I have going right now, and I just work on them off and on. I might draw on one a couple evenings a week, come on here maybe and do a Zoom. And so I don't make a lot of progress, but I whittle away at it. Occasionally I'll have a day at home, weather's bad, so I just like stay indoors and draw all day. And I'll make a lot of progress on a day like that, but it just takes a long time to do infinite zoom drawings if you want to do them well. A little bit of judgment in what I was saying there. I like to take my time and get the details, like this little thing I'm doing right here. In the big scheme of an infinite zoom drawing, it seems super unimportant to get every little detail. Excuse me. But if you think of drawing as an expression of yourself, it might change how you want people to see it, and it might change the level of time you spend on a drawing. Or the expression of yourself might not be that. It might not be, I want perfection. It might be, I want a super wow whammy expression, and I want it fast because I'm going to move through it fast when I show it to people. Or I just want to do it for fun, and nobody's ever going to see it. So who cares? Self-expression. I know that I show these online all the time, and I want to set the example of taking your time with a drawing, because when you do, you can amaze yourself at what you're able to accomplish with a pen in your hand. Thanks so much for stopping by. Appreciate the thumbs up. If you didn't hear me before, I am really trying to grow my channel. I am, and the best thing probably you could do for me to grow my channel is to subscribe and hit the thumbs up so that the algorithm will pick up that people like this channel and they'll show it more. If you just come on and look, that's great. They count that too. The interactions count a lot, and they will show my channel more if people interact with it. So I try and stop drawing every once in a while, read the comments. And I got a lot of compliments today, which I really appreciate. I think there is sort of an interesting new symbol I'm seeing on my comments. And it's a crown. I don't know what that means. I'm going to have to look it up after I leave. So let me show you if you haven't been here. I'm going to actually take a little break from drawing and just show you. This is an infinite zoom, and then I'm going to jump over and show you the other infinite zooms I've worked on, because they're kind of fun to show you all of that. So I'll just go all the way out on this one to the beginning. And what I didn't show you on this one was the Tang Dynasty. And the next drawing that I'm going to do in here will be the sari, an Indian dress from the Gandhara region, 1st century BC. And then I didn't show you the Mayan dignitary. And then that takes me out to where I was drawing. So let me go to the home button here, because I want to show you another drawing I've been working on. So I've been doing an alphabet book, and I'm up to H, just started H. Here we are at G for goat. We'll move on out here to F. E. D. C. B. And lastly, the beginning, A. Axolotls are quite popular, by the way, so I had to throw an axolotl in there. So let me show you some other infinite zooms I've worked on. There's a singer that's pretty popular on YouTube named Nathan Apollo, and he did these. He did this whole ballad of eye colors, and so I started out like with the green, I think. And let me go to the origin. Yeah, this was like one of my very first, wasn't the first, but a very beginning version of infinite zoom that I did. And it was to the eye color ballad section that's about green eyes. And I barely remember how to even get into this drawing. And I didn't go very far. Like that's when I first did these, I didn't go very far with the infinite zoom. So I'm gonna go back out. That was the green eyes. And then I think the next one I did was I know I did, I think the next one I did was blue eyes. And let me go to the beginning. Yeah, this is the one that I started with blue eyes. I'll just show you, he's inside of a nice heart here. And this actually follows the poem, the words of the poem song that Nathan Apollo does. He talks about the blue of ice, and he talks about feeling at home, and then he talks about just how amazing and beautiful we all are. And let's see here. I also did a brown eyes. Brown eyes, here we go. Let's go to the origin. The origin is here in a cityscape. And we zoom in to this kid playing basketball. So again, this was Brown Eyes, the ballad by Nathan Apollo. I illustrated to the words of his song, and he talks about brown being the color of the earth, and brown being the earth is sort of where everything grows. It's the source of everything. And then it's beautiful like topaz, rich like coffee with cream in it, beautiful like the autumn leaves, and brown is just beautiful, and so are you. And let's see, I think those were the only ones I did on eye color. This one, I made quite a few videos around this one. Let's see if I can get out to the door. So this one, I tell a story. You can find a lot of videos on this infinite zoom because I was trying to start my fashion video when I did this drawing, It did not go fashion. And the reason it didn't go fashion, I tell in the story, is about a podcast I was listening to while I was drawing. And if you follow the words on this drawing, you have the key. You can kind of get a sense to the universe of what kind of a podcast I was listening to. But feel free to search out that on my channel, and it tells more about it. It's the podcast was by a horse trainer named Warwick Schiller. Your body is the portal. To your inner spirit. Looks like I have a dot there I want to get rid of. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, it's on this layer. I'm going to use the eraser. Oops. There. Okay. Okay, we'll go back out here. And there's the final on that one. I didn't go any farther. And then this one's kind of pretty. Let me go to the origin. So this one I experimented with using photographs to see how that would be. And see the pixeling? You see all the pixeling? So infinite zoom, you can use photographs in it, but it definitely is going to have pixeling. And so what I did was I drew around the photograph so that I could just create this ongoing, whoopsie, imagery. And I just kept putting put the photograph inside a photograph, inside a photograph, inside a photograph. And then I would draw around each one to make it a little bit more interesting. So I ended there. That was just sort of an experiment, and I'm generally not going to be using photographs. I just wanted to try it. So you can do it if you don't mind the pixeling. You can do photograph after photograph after photograph. It might be fun to do that for somebody for their birthday. Is just to take all their photographs over the years and keep inserting them. This one, again, these were drawings I did in Adobe Fresco, and I don't even remember how, wow, I can't even remember how I got in on this one. Maybe this is the end. Yeah, it's the end. That's why. These are drawings that you can see I have lessons for a lot of these drawings on my channel. And then I just took the JPEGs, the photographs of those drawings, and created them at pretty high resolution. Okay, that's where I started. That's the beginning. But let's see if we look close. You see the pixels. That's because I didn't draw these in this program. These, again, are photographs. And they're photographs of my drawings that I did in a different program. And again, it's really hard to remember because I didn't draw them. It's hard to remember where I went in on each of these. And we end with that one. So it's easy to do this with photographs if you want to. I could do a quick demo on that. If you would like me to show you how to do this with photographs, please drop me a comment. And if even one or two people say they want to see it, I will make a video on how to do it. And then hit the subscribe and notification, and you'll see it when I do it. It's pretty easy. You just use this button and you keep importing. You just keep importing images, but there's a little bit more to it than that, and I'm happy to show that to you. So before I stop showing you infinite zooms, I'm actually not sure if this one is an infinite zoom. Let's see, do I have any bookmarks? Origin, last painted. Oh, this is the same as the other one. It's just got a different, okay, this is the same as the other one. I showed you the green eyes, the blue eyes. That's one we're working on. I showed you that one. This one I have just started, and I'm only on the first drawing because I quickly got lost in the details. So this is the farm that I grew up on. It had a big barn, it had a milk house, it had a little outdoor horse stall. My dad added these little shed buildings for the horses and cows to go in. This was a corn crib. This is the old international truck we had when I was a kid. My brother kept rabbits right there. This was a tobacco shed, which is different than other types of barns because these slats open up so that the air can go in and dry the tobacco that's hanging in there. This is a granary. Below is it's kind of like a smokehouse or something. I'm not sure what to call it, but it's where we would process the tobacco. And then this is the main house, which I have to fix it. It's not in the right place. It needs to be smaller. I just have a big circle around it. Here's a couple horses that lived in the field that were mine. One was mine. And then there I am sitting on the fence. It's kind of me, kind of me, kind of not me. I don't know. It's a girl. Let me erase this. So I have not done the infinite zoom on this yet. I'm still on this main page. This one is going to be probably a lifelong project. Oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah, there was a river near us and the river went into a lake. So I'll probably start with this big view of the lake here and the countryside around, and then I will zoom into my little memory of the farm. And I'm kind of playing around with shifting scale. Like these are all going to be cattails, which are going to be really big next to this barn, but I'm like, I don't want everything to be tiny, so I think it's okay. And the way that I drew the river with the fish in it doesn't, it's very artsy. So this one is in the very beginning stages. So as you can see, sometimes I feel done and I'm done and I don't go back to them. I'm done with that one, done with that one, done with that one. All the eye colors I'm done with. These two are ongoing. The History of Fashion and the Alphabet Infinite Zoom, and then the straw. Oh, this one is actually going to be resulting in talking straw. Because the company that I work during the day, we're doing some big things with straw these days. We're a design build firm, and it's just going to be exciting what's coming up. I won't go into it here. Okay, yeah, if you want to know about that channel is A1, the number 1, design build, and it's here on YouTube. You can also go over and check out that channel. You can see me talking with my co-worker, co-owner, Patrick. You can see some other people from our company on there, and we talk all building science over on that channel. So let me go back to drawing. And where are we? Here we are. I'm liking how that costume's looking. I really like it with color. I feel like I'm missing some. I'm going to go back to the black layer here, and I'm going to add some details. I feel like I'm missing some trim work here. Right. Oh, I did it the wrong way. Oh, darn. Okay, great. We get to use the back button now. Back, 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 back. Take them all out. And so I did them the wrong way. They go this way and this way. There. So just doing a little cleanup that I see needs to be done right here and there. Can you hear the dog chewing the bones in the background? She is working hard on that. Okay, we're going to go back to working on this trim. Oops. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate those hanging with me. I'm just going to check here on my comments. Hmm. feel like I want to fix that on the black layer. There, better. Thanks for stopping by. I will, in a few minutes, I'll do a quick tour of this overall drawing in case you're new. People come and go a lot on the live streams, especially on the mobile devices. Folks will scroll and they'll scroll and scroll, stop for a minute, move on. I know that's what I do when I'm scrolling live streams. I think I'll do a little cleanup there on the black layer. Okay, do a quick zoom out so you can see the infinite zoom drawing in its entirety. History of fashion, or simply the history of clothing. You know, the first domesticated animal that humans had were wolves. Dogs. Wolves, actually. And they were tamed because we helped them and they helped us. And I don't have all the details in my memory. I just remember reading about that and thinking it was really cool. Go to the last place I painted. Oh, maybe not. Let me go to here to the Bronze Age, or I'm sorry, the Mayan dignitaries. So this is the last place I painted, but I also didn't show you where we're going. Tang Dynasty and a sari, which I haven't drawn yet. That one's going to be really fun. I might go in there in a few minutes and work on that, just so you can see the drawing process. I think I'll finish this trim and just here this gold trim, and then I'll move into that sari drawing. We're in the home stretch of this trim. Need to do a little cleanup here while I'm once you go away from a detail like this where it's like, oh, that could be better on a drawing on an infinite zoom, you may never come back to it. So that's why I kind of stop every once in a while and oops, I need the black, and I just go ahead and make it look better. In the moment. Actually, does the rest of my black look okay? It does. So I'm going to go back to my color layer. Okay, so let's go to the sari, which is in here, past the Mayan dignitary, past the Tang Dynasty, and here we are. So I watched quite a few videos on saris before I just roughed this in, and so let me think about my layers here. I'm going to want to be on the black layer here, layer 4, to kind of map this one out. So it's, what layer is this on? This is on layer 6 below. So I can draw black on layer 4, no problem. So they have kind of an underskirt, and then they'll have some sort of a beautiful top that's kind of a crop top. And then the sari goes on top of that, and it tucks in, wraps around, gets pleated multiple times. Then it's a really big, long piece of cloth that's beautiful in color and sometimes in trim. Sometimes it's printed. Sometimes it's just got beautiful borders on it. Anyway, that's kind of where, and then it's wrapped around the underskirt. It's wrapped around on the top, tucked in, pleated, tucked in again, and then the tail wraps around again and then swoops up over the shoulder or is carried on the arm. They're just gorgeous. You can look it up on, using Google and look at the history of saris. So the first thing I'm going to do is just draw the underbody with a black outline, and then I'll erase as I build on top of it. I just want to make sure I get things right. So we'll start with the hair. We'll put an ear here and here. And I think I want to change the shape of that. I think I want the chin to be a little more defined, come up and then go out to the cheeks. I gotta turn here because I'll never get that right if I don't. Is that too much? Maybe. Yeah, that's more what I want right there. Okay. I think I'm going to have to go over this with a fat line. And then use the eraser. Sometimes it's hard to get a smooth line using an iPad. I've thought about getting that texture screen. It's a screen application that you just lay on top, and it's got texture so it feels a little bit more like paper. I think it creates some grip for your pen tip. But I've heard that you lose some definition, and so I kind of suffer through with the method that I have developed here. This feels like it goes out too much. There we go. That's better. How did I do that other one? I did that other one like this. Okay, so now I might just bring this line down here. So what I can do is go in here and turn off this brown layer just so I can get a feel for how is this going to look. Oh, look at that. One ear is way higher than the other. Let's see if we can fix that right now. Do I want to bring this ear down? So you can see what I mean about this program is like drawing with a crayon or a magic marker or a pen, you know, except you do have the back button, thank goodness. They've at least included that. The tools are so basic on this program. There's no symmetry tool, there's no bucket fill. There's no very little variation on brushes. And I have lovely, oh, she's trying to get me to throw the ball, which I will do. I will throw the ball for her after I'm done drawing. Is that even? It's still not quite even. That's where I've got to start. Oh, wow, this is like so interesting how I just can't seem to get it low enough. This is not as low either. It's going to look so weird when I turn the underdrawing back on. So here we go. I'm just gonna draw it as if. I think that's going to be enough detail. Now this comes down really far here, so we're going to fix that. It's going to come up like this. That's, you know, the beginning of the drawing takes so much longer than filling in the colors later. It's just amazing the difference in time. Let's see how this looks overall now. Okay, starting to look way more even. I didn't want an symmetrical look. I wanted a symmetrical look. Okay, so let me turn on that underdrawing and let's just see how crazy it looks. Oh, it's okay. So I think I'm going to turn that off again. And I'm just going to draw this face from scratch. So the eyes are going to be, let me go back to the, okay, cancel. I'm going to go to the correct layer. I'm going to go here. I'm going to use my black marker. And the eyebrows are going to kind of arch just above the ears. So that the eyes come in very close to the ears. And I may, let me just rough them in, and then I may want to move them up just a little bit. Yeah, they need to go up. So I'm going to hit the back button here and move the eyes up. I'm going to start with the eyes themselves. And the eyebrows. Even farther. There we go. Very wobbly lines. Let me try that again. And look who we have here. We have Fern asking for me. She puts everything in her mouth that she possibly can. Yes, I need you to go. I need you. Yes, lovely. She's like, will you finish drawing, please, so that we can play? Oh, she gave up temporarily. Okay, let me do that again. Swoop that line and swoop that line. Oh, I got a wobble. Turn the page. Swoop that line. Okay, that feels better. We'll put a little bit of a shadow line underneath. Let's add some lashes. I wish I could turn this. I have to turn it like this because the sheet won't turn. I think it has something to do with well, they just have a lot of limitations because of the infinite zoom, I think. Okay, let's get a little nose here. Okay, so here's the whites. This is going to be, there's going to be a little bit of pink right in here and right there. So then this is the white of the eye. So let's do it methodically on each side. And then Next, we're going to have the outside of the iris, which I do want to touch the bottom. So that's going to be the outside of the color. Just touching the bottom. And then we're going to have the pupil, which is going to be a nice round black circle, but it's going to touch the top of the, not the bottom, it'll touch the top. And then of course, you know, if you want to go and make these realistic, you're going to add water lines and, you know, white water lines and so forth, which we may get there eventually. I kind of feel like this ear sticks out a little bit too much. Let me bring it in a little bit. Although sticky out ears are super functional if you think about it. They really capture the sound around them. We're just indicating there's some shape inside that ear. I'm not getting super picky about that right now. Actually, every time I do an ear, I try and take a picture of my own, or I pull up a photograph of someone else's, because ears are so complicated. What happens in here, how the just how all the parts of the ear fold into each other and kind of wrap around each other. It's kind of amazing, actually, if you look close at an ear. Okay, I'm starting to like that face. And I'm feeling like I'll come back to the ears. I don't feel like doing that right now. And so let's turn on that underdrawing again on this layer. Hit the eyeball and it comes back. So I think one thing I'm going to do to make this easier for me is I'm going to erase some things I had drawn with that underdrawing. There. And then pick up on the rest of this drawing. That neck is pretty long, so let's make it a little more realistic. There, that feels better. It might be a little tad bit narrow. So let's fix that too. There we go. I'll erase some of this in a moment. Because those lines are really heavy. Just trying to that arm's too long. I think it's too long. That looks better. The hand's a little clunky, but that can be fixed. I'm going to get these lines kind of roughed in where they work for me. Fingers need to be a little bit longer. Just a little. Okay, that one, I'm liking that. Okay. So this arm I'm going to work out later after I work out the whole gown, because this arm is going to come over the top, but I want to work the gown out. So I know that we're going to have a crop top. So I'll go up here and create that. So we've got a crop top, and then not far below that will be the underskirt. Which I like the length here, and I like kind of this sweep coming out to the side. So I think I'm going to continue with that. So I'm going to go like out here a bit with this line and out. Same thing over here. The crop top comes out. Over the top of the body. So we'll just create that little bit of depth there. That layering. Same here. So one of the really important parts of this sari, to make it such, it's a super long piece of fabric, and to make it very full, is that they do this very precise hand pleating right in the center of the skirt. So I'm going to include that. And I think I'm going to add one more right there. And the way that we're going to show the pleat at the bottom is with some different broken lines down here. And then we'll show it with different colors, tints and shades of the main color of the sari. Sometimes saris are just one color, sometimes they're prints, sometimes they have beautiful borders on them. A lot of times they'll be like a gold border, and the way that they fold it, the border is at the bottom, and then it wraps around and becomes part of the drape across their body and what they carry on their arm. And so that's going to be interesting how so basically the fabric comes from behind. I'm going to actually have to look at a sari again. So let's work on her hair. Just a little bit of a wave to it. And we'll have it going behind her like Okay, so let's go over, and I'm just going to check the comments really quick here. And let's look, this is samyak.com. And I think they have, I think this is where I found a lot of pictures of saris. Let me hit the X. Let me try again. Traditional. Sari. Probably, am I spelling that right? Traditional sari. Okay, so I'd love to, I want to do this style. So you see the pleating. I've got the pleating of the underskirt. And then, whoops. This is Mirraw, Mirraw. And so you see that trim would also be at the bottom of this skirt. So it wraps around. I see. So a big piece of the fabric wraps around, goes over the shoulder and over the arm and drapes on the back. And then this drape across the arm is what I'm trying to remember how that worked. And now I kind of know. So let me go back to my drawing. It's so hard as soon as you leave. So the fabric comes from the back and, oops, I want a pen. From the back, and it goes up, across, and then there's some folds, and it's going to come across the arm as well. So it's coming from the back around like this. And then it goes down the arm and across the arm like that. And hangs down. Interesting. See if I can make sense of this. I'm going to turn off the underdrawing. That will help. Or I'll just erase it as I go. So at least we don't have those lines confusing the image. And then I'm going to start erasing. Whoops, get on the right layer here. I'm going to start erasing. There we go. I think I could even bring that line down farther. So her arm has a definite bend. This is the shadow of the cloth. And showing her body a bit. And here is where I want that to wrap lower, like that. Okay. We'll add her hand in a minute. Her hand is going to be here. Here's the cloth, a bit sort of like this. Here's her hand and her fingers. And I'll clean that up. Okay, oops. I haven't looked up in a long time. Thanks for hanging with me. I just like to check the comments once in a while. Thanks for the thumbs up. That eye is a little bit higher. I may go back and fix that, or I may not. That ear is lower. It's just like something I've always done in my drawings. I draw them lopsided a bit, and I remember being in college and having a professor say, "Oh, you're like El Greco." El Greco was a Greek painter that lived in Spain, I believe. Was it Spain? Yeah, I think it was Spain. And he had the same problem. Okay, so now, oops, wrong layer. Let me go to the right layer and add that line. Let's erase a bunch of these lines I don't need underneath anymore. So now we're down to it, just the underdrawings indicating that I'm going to do some beautiful trees. I'm going to do a river in front, and there's going to be a swan, and there's a lotus flower, or a few of them. That's eventually going to be what the drawing is. And I feel like her hair, I'm going to go back to my black and white layer. Go back to my medium line. I think I want to indicate that there's a little bit of a breeze. Yeah, I'll probably come back to work on those eyes later. So what I want to do today before I leave is show you how that sari folding works by adding the border to the fabric. So I'm going to indicate where a border would be here on these pleats. And then that border is also going to be on her sleeve, which wraps in and is part of the overdrape of her shoulder. So there we go. So, I mean, I could do a wave border. I think that's what I'm going to do. It's hard when you have to stop. So do a little cleanup here. Interesting. Did I just goof and go on the wrong layer? I did. Ah. I'm going to have to redraw this. So let me hit the back button several times. I have to get on the right layer because when I color it in, I want it to work. I don't want to create frustration for myself. So let's try that again. It's a little low. All right, now we're going to go back and do that again. I don't like how that last one worked. I went too low. I think we'll just do that in there. Okay, so you get the feeling now of what I'm going for with this sari. I feel like this should be maybe a little more coverage. It might be okay. And I'll probably go back and fix the eyes. The one eye being lower is kind of bothering me. I think I'll bring this eye down. And I think that's where I'm going to conclude today. I want to thank everybody for coming by. I appreciate the thumbs up and the subscriptions a lot. Let me just give you a quick overview before I leave. This is the Infinite Zoom program. It's an app that works with anything, any tablet or phone where you can use a stylus. You can actually do it with your finger. You can draw with your finger too if you don't have a stylus. Zoom Art is what it's called. this one, there's a couple different Zoom art programs out there, and before I leave here, so this is the history of fashion drawing that I've been working on. And before I leave this drawing, let me see if I can tell you if I can give you the name of it. Frequently asked questions, troubleshooting. Let me go back one to technical information. Zoom art is what it's called. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Questions. So Zoom art frequently asked questions. I just want to see if they have somewhere in here, they have a way to connect with them if you're having trouble. Core features. Apple Pencil support. Bookmarks, color picker. Support. Maybe that's where I saw it. I have emailed them. I'm not finding their email name right here though. I thought it would be unsupported technical. They have another name. That's what I'm after. So let me go here and show you the logo. So this is the logo right here. I'm going to bring that up really close to the screen and focus in on it, because when you go looking for there, I think I have to get up here above my phone. Like, this is what I want to focus on right there. So it's got, come on, focus. Pink background, blue and purple infinity, and then a white line going inside the infinity loop. So that's the logo. Zoom art, they're calling it. They've changed their name. That's why I show the logos to make sure you can find it if you're looking for it. I love that somebody wanted to donate today, but since I don't have that ability yet, as I have to get more subscribers, and I have to get a few more watch hours before I can get a donate button. So subscribing is how you really can support me, and I really appreciate if people would do that. So the other one I'm working on, I worked on last weekend, I think, in front of folks, or I did a couple videos on this one last weekend, was the alphabet book I've been working on with the Infinite Zoom program. I'm only up to H, so this will be quick. We'll go on the little donkey eye here to the elephant. I have a separate video on the elephant. And we're in with the fox. I think we go in the fox's eye. Yes, 2G, giraffe. I have a video about how to draw a goat. And we go into the goat eye to H, and I've just started on H. So I have a few letters to go on that one, and then go out to the origin here, which was A. So I want to thank everybody for coming on here today and hanging with me. I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.